Hey everyone, this is David Stroud with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and today I'm joined with Randy Simonoff on the phone.
Hey guys, it's Randy Simonoff with Keller Williams Action Realty High Elevation Homes Limited. Sorry I couldn't be on video today, but I'm out and about.
So thank you so much, Randy, for joining us. Today we're going to talk about basement refinishing or finishing. So when people think about their basements, there's typically two things you're going to think of. It's finished or it's unfinished. We're going to talk about a third section, which is the partially finished basement. So some people think, all right, so it's finished, it's unfinished, but then there's the partially finished basement. If they have a partially finished basement, and maybe I'm considering selling my home or doing something different, is there value in me completing the finished work on the basement, or should I leave it there? Appraisers typically can assign a percentage of value to a partially finished basement, depending upon the amount of work that's been completed. So if you're thinking about that, there's two choices. One, you can either get a pre-listing appraisal. It's going to cost you a few $100s, or you can get something called a CMA, and that is a comparative market analysis from Realtor. And typically that's going to be, you just could reach out to your trusted Realtor who can help you with that. And I know, Randy, that's something you do, correct?
A CMA, comparative market analysis, what I would do is look at the subject property that we're thinking about selling and look at any comparable properties that have sold within the past 180 days. We never want to go out further than that. And I'm talking, when I say comparable, I'm talking about comparable. Is it a ranch? Is it a raised ranch? And what's the radius from the subject property? And then we can look and say, okay, this comparable property has a finished basement. What did it sell for? And this comparable property does not have a finished basement. What did it sell for? And we can, at that point, devise a value of the subject property. And is it worth it to take that step and leave it partially finished, as you said, David. So it gives us a really good snapshot with some properties that have sold recently and maybe even within the same subdivision, same type of footprint to give us a value. And that's
cool. That makes perfect sense. So you're saying that you could look at a home that has a finished basement and that meets some of the similar characteristics as the home that this person is looking to sell, and you could assign a value based on the completed work, but then a percentage based on the uncompleted but partially finished work. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, we can make an educated guess, if you will, or an educated estimate based on the criteria we have. Of course, we take into other consideration other things too, obviously lot size, number of bedrooms, number of garages, etc. And those are all adjusted up or down. We never adjust the subject property. We always adjust the comparable properties that have sold.
Oh, cool. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Why would someone want to completely finish the basement or just finish the partial work that's already been done?
Well, I think, again, it goes back to how long you're going to be in the home. If you plan on staying in the home for a while, I think there's a great opportunity with a lender like you, David, to find out what I could do to possibly not pay so much out of pocket. Do I have 50 grand kicking around to finish my basement? What are some other options there to get that basement finished? And I think you could probably elaborate on that much more than I can, being a lender.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a few options where someone could get maybe a cash out refinance, and that's where we take the equity or what you own of your home, what's actually yours, based on the value of it today compared to the price you paid for it and how much you've paid down the loan. You can take some cash out and then use that cash to finish your basement. And typically based on how that works, so for about every $1,000 that you have in your loan amount goes up about $6. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. But if you're looking at, let's say 30, 40, maybe $50,000 to finish your basement, then you can expect, probably paying under $300 per month to have a finished basement, if that's kind of your price range. Now, of course, this all varies based upon individual circumstances and what's happening in the market, but there's also the chance you might be able to refinance your house and drop your current payment. And if you're already paying private mortgage insurance, but as we've seen recently, there's been a huge increase in values of homes, then there's a possibility that not only can you refinance to lower your interest rate, but to get rid of private mortgage insurance, but also get some cash out that you could get some work done on your home to increase the value even more, to enjoy it, or to help when it comes time to sell. So why would someone not want to finish their basement? And that would be if they're moving really soon, or if they don't have money, right? And that's where they would want to get a cash out refinance. There's also sorts of other things you can do. Like different companies allow for like no interest credit cards for 6 months or to a year, and so that's something kind of to think about. But be very careful there. If you are thinking about getting a cash out refinance to finish your home, you might also want to consider using that to pay off some existing debt. And so that's something to consider, like, maybe I don't want to finish the basement yet. Maybe it would make more sense for us to pay off these high interest credit cards and then tackle the next stage. Kind of like if someone had, if they're in the middle of finishing the master bedroom or bath or a kitchen, finish that first maybe, and then take on the next step. So maybe if you need to consolidate some debt, then that's the stage to take. But of course, there's other things to think about. Like if you're going to do it yourself, like do it yourself, the DIY people out there who have some skill set, or if you're going to pay for everything to get done. Do it yourself is going to take more time, but it might save you some money. But you'll make sure that you do it correctly, you have the right permits pulled, and that everything's going to be passing the inspection, so that you don't have to rip down sheetrock, right? And to show that the wiring was done correctly, the plumbing was done correctly, that walls are stood up correctly, so that an inspector can see that before it comes time to selling. Would you agree, Randy?
Absolutely. I think nobody ever wants to do the same work twice based on the simplicity of not, or the oversight of not pulling a permit. I mean, it's just smart living to do that. And it also protects you from any accidents that could have happened. Oh, well, you didn't have a permit and you had an electrical fire. I mean, it was signed off on. So we like to think that the work was done correctly and somebody gave it the nod from the city. So I think that's really important. But I think, at the end of the day, there's so many different scenarios and everyone is unique. That's why, you should talk to your realtor, talk to me. I'm very well educated in this stuff. And with David's background in the financial piece, does it make sense to refi and get some cash out to do this? Does it not make sense to finish your basement? Let's pull that comparative market analysis together, possibly maybe even an appraisal pre-listing, but let's find out what your unique scenario is, and we can help you make that educated decision.
Absolutely. I think the message we sent here today is, if you're not sure, reach out to your realtor to find out, or to your trusted mortgage professional to help you with that. And if you're not sure about who that could be, give Randy or myself a call, and we'd be very happy to help. Our information is going to be available here. You can reach us on our websites or send us a call or email. So thanks so much, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.